smile to you.
Oh, all right. Hi, the real Randy Chavez here. Where's my count? Okay, and I have my good friend Alex, and we are taking a look at the trophy Kangaskhan. May of 1998, it was handed out. I think there are 40 graded copies. Is that a true?
Something like that, yeah.
And this one is only 40 graded. I think this is 37 of them have an actual number, like you see on the top of it, and then 3 of them are just labeled authentic. And this card is, for the most part, really, really stellar, minus just a little bit of edge wear on the bottoms. And then you see that little, almost like a dent or a scratch. What would you call that?
I would call it a crease.
A crease, that's a good word.
But the front is just a gem.
So how do I reverse the, can I not reverse the camera now? I guess not. So, guys, basically, we found each other in 2017?
Yeah, I think so.
2018, something like that. Yeah. Through a good friend, Joe. And Joe I knew since like 2002 or 2001. I don't know. We played like Little League together back in the day. I'm not a baseball player. How did you know Joe?
Joe I met at our mutual friend Rob's apartment where I met you.
Yeah, Rob is a big guy, really, really jacked, really muscular. Did he have a card store back in the day?
I believe he did, yeah. Okay. Like in '99.
So he had a card store and he sold like Beanie Babies. He still sells Beanie Babies. Those still sell apparently. And we have these. He's got stacks and shoeboxes of cards. And I specialize really in the gym challenge area for Pokemon. And, you know, he had a couple of those and just a couple of old promos from back in the day. And did you buy anything?
I did. I bought like thousands of dollars of cards from him, like over the years. Yeah.
So this basically, for cards as rare as these, there's not as many trends because they sell so infrequently. There is other cards where it's, okay, you could see, you know, a bunch of data points, and it's not like a scatter plot. It's just like a linear line, almost like an equation that you can put into one of those TI-83 calculators, and you can see it kind of go up. There's no, I don't think any, there are probably a few data points scattered around, but this one I think was a price point for this particular grade at a 4. There are 2 on sale right now at eBay that are PSA 10s for, they're listed at $100,000 and $104,000, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
But one of the guys that owns it said he'd probably sell it for like 75, 80 grand.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this card, even if someone, the price tag for this one cash is $98.50, $9,850. It had some other offers, and based on who's going to sell, you could work out deals with them. Like there was other offers on the table for this card saying, okay, 5,000 cash and 5,000 trade-in value or 5,500 trade-in value. I think my first offer was, I didn't know what you were offered for it, so I was like, I'll give you $5,000 for it. And it's like, but you were very nice about it too. You're just like, I can't do that. But in your head, you were probably like laughing. It was like, I'm not doing it.
I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I already got offers higher than that.
Yeah. But if there's anyone that has any super rare card you want, find out like what their hot button is. What is something that, what do they want? And if they want cash above anything else, that's it. We went on for what, like a half hour going?
I would say at least half hour negotiations.
Back and forth.
My friend was listening and he's like, bro, that was intense.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My friend Joe, he messaged me about it. He's like, he's got this car he's looking to sell. I'd see what you can do if you want. It's like, oh, that'd be awesome. Because these cards, if someone were to offer me like right now, coming with a suitcase with like 20 grand, I'd be like, I can't. Like, because I don't know if I'd ever get this card again. Maybe in the future, as I make more money and I get like a 7 or an 8, maybe I would sell this if I needed the capital for something else. But a 10, I don't want to spend 80 grand on. It's like,
it's crazy.
A down payment on a house. In New York and New Jersey, anyway, I feel like on other areas, you're probably you can buy a whole house for that almost.
True.
But for this, how did you come into contact with this card?
So I got this from a guy who got it in Japan.
Oh.
Yeah. And just bought it ungraded. And I was hoping, I got a 4, but it's such a gorgeous card. I was hoping it would get like a 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
But, got a 4. still like when I buy cards, like I like ones that have like pretty fronts, no scratches, nothing like that. So like I was thinking that even if it has the crease in the back that you could see, that the front is so gorgeous that I still just love the card.
Yeah, the front is great. I really don't see any issues with it. Maybe if you look up at a certain angle, I don't know if that's factory line on the top, like that on the top left.
I don't know if I see what you're talking about.
Maybe I'm tripping. I could have sworn I saw it before. Maybe I don't. I'm sorry, guys, but
But yeah, I would. So when I'm buying a card, like I would prefer a card like this over like a 7, 8, or even 9 that has a scratched up, ugly front.
yeah,
As long as the front is nice and pretty, like that's what I care about in a card.
yeah. Again, if you're gonna frame this, or if you're just for the most part, the artwork itself, like the actual uh, aesthetic beauty of it, is on the front. I mean, on the back, every Japanese promo has that. I think every Japanese card in general has that back, right?
Until a certain point, like I think like I don't know, it was like 2002 or something.
Yeah, so most of the old stuff, the back is all the same, but it's the artwork, this individual, beautiful, such rare artwork, is, I don't want to say priceless. It's very. There's other Kangaskhan pieces of art, and there's fan art and this stuff, but it's just the history of it as well.
Totally.
You're buying a piece of history.
And I love that pinkish purple in the background.
Yeah,
It's just freaking sweet.
so I don't. Is he in the field of like flowers? Is she? Because it's, you look in the back, you see mountains, maybe a riverbed. But I don't know if there's mountains in the back or maybe trees. Maybe there's other Kangaskhan. Normally I like cards where there's other Pokemon in the picture. Like I think Southern Islands has that, and I think I don't know, a few other set cards or artworks have that, and it reminds me of Pokemon Snap, where Professor Oak was like, "Wonderful, there are other Pokemon in the picture."
No, yeah, I love this one. It reminds me of like the Safari Zone. Like that's where I imagine that Kangaskhan is. And it's like it's got that. Some people don't like it, but I do like when it's like the Kensugi Mori artwork with the very basic background and like nothing in it. I also love like different like more exquisite backgrounds, but I also just like the very basic Kensugi Mori background style. And so I imagine him in the Safari Zone here, where I think you could catch Kangaskhan in the Safari Zone in the games.
Yeah, at least in blue version you can. I don't know about red. After like my 4th or 5th playthrough, I kind of just like, all right, let me go get the golden teeth and the other HM and get out of there. But yeah, those are cool. But Ken Sugimura is one of my favorite artists because he does most of the gym challenge with like Blaine's Charizard and Blaine's Arcanine, and I love those so much. One of those, Blaine's Arcanine, actually just sold for like $1,100 at auction.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
the PSA 10 first edition.
Yeah, first edition PSA 10.
Crazy.
And I bought one like 3 or 4 months ago for like $500.
Wow.
Yeah, so
insane growth on that.
Well, because there's not, the only ones that are available for Blaine's Arcanine now is you have to buy it with a Blaine's Charizard, and it's like $3,500 they're asking for it. So that's the only one available. So Blaine's Charizard, I think there's like 3 or 4 available right now. And then there's one at auction, but it's already at $1,100, and it's like 2 days left in the auction, so it'll go up to 12 or 13 probably.
Crazy. Pokemon is on fire at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean. The economy is really good, and it's just been going up steadily since 2000. Well, after the crash. And this is why I do this. Also, we talked about finance in the past. As I know, you said you had a little bit of school debt you're trying to pay off, and the interest rates on those are, you don't want to pay interest, even the minimum payments, because then you're continuing to. But do you think that in the future, once those are paid off, you would try to find a card like this again?
Yeah, because I think like this is probably one of maybe about 2 cards, I think, that are just out of my reach, and I just can't spend the money to afford at this point in my life. So I think this one would be something that I would target in the future, and like maybe could call my collection complete, but I guess like a true collector,
never complete.
Exactly. A true collector, it's never complete. And then when I think I've completed like something of my collection, then I realize it's definitely not, or there's something I can improve about it, like a better condition card. But in the future, but I mean, that it probably won't be available in the future just because there are so few copies, such a hot card.
And some people just don't sell. Like, it doesn't matter what you offer them. People just don't sell because it's, again, it's a piece of history. And I don't know how many have been graded and maybe someone like passed away or the people don't know what they have. You know, you hate to think that these cards are lost forever.
Yeah, there must have been a bunch that are lost or destroyed.
Yeah, I don't know how many were handed out at that tournament. Probably, what, 100? I don't know
I guess
how big the tournament was.
Something like that.
Super small release.
It couldn't be less.
This is, I would say, probably in the top, at least top 10, but probably top 5 or 7 trophy cards out there. Like, you have the illustrators, you have the SSB cards. I don't TMB? Yeah.
Tropical Mega
Tropical
Battle.
Mega Battle. I was talking about Super Secret Battle, though.
Yeah, the Super Secret Battle. Is that the one with the Mewtwo on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's badass.
That was the one that kid got it stolen. Like, it was like $60,000. It's crazy.
Loss.
But, so those 3, and that, I don't know, maybe... Oh, the tournament Pikachus. Yeah, the tournament ones.
I guess some people would think that either the Illustrator or the earliest Pikachu trophy cards, I guess they're from like 97.
Yeah.
Maybe 97.
Yeah, the 97 one.
That those are probably, those 4 would be like the top trophy cards, I guess.
Those are the peak.
But I would say this is the most beautiful trophy card.
Yeah.
Just in terms of my favorite art among any card, I think it's probably this card.
Yeah, I would say this, and obviously mostly because it's exceedingly rare and it's next to impossible to find. There's less cards, there's less graded cards than there is states in the United States. But there's a couple that aren't really worth a lot that I just really love the artwork for. Like anything cute, like Arcanine when they have like his puppy form, his or Growlithe. Erica's Venusaur is really, really good artwork also. Again, Ken Sugimori. Venusaur is also my first starter. Venusaur, Bulbasaur, but I think the Shining cards are really beautiful too. I forget what point I was trying to make. But
yeah.
But that's it. I'm also going to go to PSA, and because they grade so harshly on any type of dents or creases, even if the rest of it is beautiful, it automatically takes it down a couple grades, like at least 2, maybe 3. So this card should be probably 6 or 7. So I have to say authentic. So this way, in the future, if I do want to sell it, I would just say like be super transparent and open, and I would just say, all right, little small crease on the back, but aside from that, you can tell that everything else on the front is pretty much perfect. And that's just what I do. But again, $20,000, I'd say no. 30,000. I don't need I don't need $30,000, but I'd also I could use that because I'm the type of business I'm in. Or in my last YouTube video, you guys saw, I do cash advance, and the compound interest on that is insane. So I should do that if someone offered me 30. I wouldn't want to. Coin flip. I don't know. Very hard to say no to a big stack of cash.
It's crazy. I'm sorry to see this thing go, bro. But like I said, I'm glad it's going to you.
Yeah. And what is your recommendations about storing it? Like temperature, climate control, or how exactly would one store this?
Well, I normally would keep the PSA cases at least in like a plastic sleeve so they don't get scratched up. Yeah. This one has a little bit of scratching on it. But that'll be fixed if you recase it and they're authentic. I would say at least put it in a plastic sleeve, and then obviously you don't want it to be any place that's like not room temperature or that is like really moist or like humid. I mean, some people like putting it in safety deposit boxes, but like...
That's what I'm going to do at the bank. But I mean, as far as today, I unfortunately have like 3 other things to do in New Jersey. I have a lunch to go to with a couple of guys I used to serve with, and then my other friend Brian's having a going away party. So this might be in my car. Is that okay to be that cold for 8-ish hours?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Today's actually a mild day.
Okay, good.
But like if it's like really hot, I think that would be bad.
Okay, good. That's it's not going to be hot. It's going to be nice and 40, 50 degrees.
But yeah.
And then
that said, I'm not the expert on storage, but I feel like if you do just common sense.
Yeah. But anyway, that is it for this one. Wow, almost 15 minutes. Peace.
Peace.
And I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye.